Tell Me More podcast is being recorded on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures. Our guest today is a media personality, social media influencer, and someone you may know as Tully from Big Brother. But I am lucky to know Tully Smyth as one of my close friends. After 8 years of being single, Tully has a lot of dating experience, both good and bad, and today she's here to give us her very honest insights on navigating singledom in your 30s. My name is Olivia Molly Rogers, and I'm excited to get comfortable in the uncomfortable with you and remind you that nobody is perfect and everybody has something going on behind the scenes that you may not know about. I hope you enjoy the podcast. It's good to have you here, Tul.
Thanks for inviting me. I've actually been waiting when I'd get the call up. I was a little bit offended I wasn't the first step.
Well, the thing was, I wanted to have you on to talk about, you know, being single in your 30s, etc., etc. And then you went and got yourself a beautiful boyfriend. So you kind of ruined that plan.
Yeah, I slipped and fell into that one, didn't I?
You really
I really did.
We'll get to that. But a lot of people, I feel like their history of knowing Tully is Tully from Big Brother, Tully who went on the show with a girlfriend, came out with a boyfriend. So your dating life has been a lot of people's focus on you for a really long time.
Well, I was also single for 8 years.
Well, there's also that.
Like, Drew was kind of my last official boyfriend, and then I spent the next 8 years single. So yeah, I think that a lot of my followers sort of know me as, I think they sort of see me as like the girl that can sort of make them feel okay about being single in their 30s. And I'm happy to talk about my dating stories and about what it's like to go to the wedding, you know, and be like the seventh wheel or like the 13th wheel, you know, the one that has to sleep in the bunk beds at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what, people kind of, I think, know me most for.
I feel like what I meant from the beginning is like, I think because all of that happened publicly, then people were really invested in your dating life and like rooting for you and wanting you to find someone. And then with you being so honest about being single and the struggles of being single, you've got like this big community that's like so invested.
Yeah. It really, and I'm surprised every time, like every time I make an announcement, whether it's that I've, you know, been dumped again or that I've got a new relationship, the response is so overwhelming and it feels so personal. Like they feel like little sisters, big sisters, aunts, uncles, mums. Like it feels, they really truly are happy to see me happy.
Yeah.
And they feel really invested because they have been with me for 11 years now. They've seen me grow up. They've seen me, you know, go through it all, ups and downs. But they're definitely, it blows me away every time just how invested they are. It's so sweet. It's so heartwarming. It brings tears to my eyes. But yeah, every time I do anything, I'm like, oh my God, do you guys actually care? You actually really care about me. And they want to see me happy, which is so heartwarming after all these years.
Yeah, it's so nice. So I obviously became single in my 30s as well, which is not where I saw my life going. And I've had quite a few people in my DMs asking me questions about dating, but it's all still quite new to me. Mm-hmm. I'm no expert, but I feel like you are somewhat of an expert and you have a lot more experience when it comes to online dating in general, and what to look for, what to, be wary of, all these things. So that's what I want to get into today. Mm-hmm. I want you to teach me and teach the listeners about dating, and then also because obviously you have found this beautiful man, so
I have.
We'll get there as well. I want to know, first up, it was funny, someone had screenshot a Hinge profile of mine, but it was fake, and you sent it to me being like, oh, hey, like here we go. And I was like, oh, that's not me. And you said, oh, thank God, because the answers were terrible. And you're like, I would hope that you would do better than that.
That doesn't sound like me at all.
But so on that, I would love to know what your answers were like, because you've met a couple of partners.
Yeah, my current relationship and my last relationship were both I'm on Hinge. So
Yeah.
I'm a full advocate. This isn't like I'm waiting for them to hit me up and offer me a lot of money to keep talking about them, because I could not be a bigger fan of Hinge. I've met, 2 amazing men on Hinge. So I'm all for it.
From what I understand is like, say Tinder, whatever, you don't have to give as much info about yourself, but Hinge you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I prefer Hinge because it kind of, yes, it gives you the photos and, you know, they are important still.
Yeah.
But it also gives you a chance to show a bit more of your personality. So there are 3 prompts you can choose. And trust me, even from, you know, when I was single 2 years ago and I had Hinge to most recently, the app has changed so much. Like the prompts are so varied. There's so many different topics you can pick from. And so basically you pick 3 questions and then you answer them. So you get kind of a glimpse into their personality, their sense of humor, whether they have correct spelling and grammar, for instance, which is so important.
Yeah.
So important. If you don't know your theirs from your theirs, then like see you later. But I really, especially now that I'm 36, that to me, personality, sense of humor is so much more important than how someone looks. So that's why I prefer Hinge, because I feel like it does give you a bit more of a snapshot into the person, not just whether they're, 6'4" and hot.
But that was also important for you.
I mean, height used to be really important for me, but it's,
You lowered it over the time you were single.
Well, I lowered it, and also my current partner may have told porcupines, so we snuck in there.
It's boy math.
Yeah, boy math. You just add an inch.
An inch or 2. Okay, so what are, like you said, you look for spelling and grammar, sense of humor. What else, when it comes to their answers, are you looking for?
I think that showing some of your personality, being original, is so important. So many guys like see someone else's question and answer and just copy it, and then they think they're original, and then you're just seeing the same thing over and over again. I think something that shows an insight into their personality, what they're looking for in a partner, whether they've got a sense of humor. Sense of humor is so important to me, and if you can show that you've got a bit of wit, a bit of spice to you, that's going to get me over the line. So yeah, I spent forever on mine, like forever. Like I made the profile and I was so nervous.
Do you still have it?
Yeah.
Can we hear your
I actually
answers?
re-downloaded it the other day because people now ask me for like help on their profile. I have friends sending me screen grabs.
You should start a mentoring program.
I have friends sending me screen grabs of their Hinge profiles and like, all right, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, okay, like change the first photo to the third photo. That prompt's great, sassy, a bit aggressive for the opener. Put that as the third. And like, I always tell people to be honest about what they're looking for. I think so often girls think they have to play this aloof, cool girl, like, oh, whatever, like casual's fine. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, say that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just wasting your time, you're wasting their time. And if a guy thinks it's too intense to say that you want kids, then he's not the guy for you anyway.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of information on my profile. A lot.
Is this going to take up the whole episode?
I mean...
Maybe.
No. How do I even... So I re-downloaded it the other day. I don't still have Hinge, obviously. I don't know. Do you want me to like show it?
Maybe. Can we get screen grabs and like put it up on the...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I opened with a nice little like...
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Not edited, not professional shot, not like a shot for my Instagram. At Harvey. We were just at Harvey the other day.
She's approachable.
Yeah, I look, and I'm wearing like kind of like a cute little like feminine floaty dress. Which says, I would make a great wife one day, maybe. And I also am sure I have a glass of wine in the shot and it said my weekends look like. Yeah. So like I'm being honest, like I drink wine, a lot of it. And then my first opener prompt is my most irrational fear. And I wrote, and I'm very proud of this one. I said that I am in fact not ready, willing and able to assist in the event of emergency when sitting in an exit row. Because that is a real fear of mine. Like, I actually don't know if I could push that door out.
You would probably freeze.
But I want to have the extra leg room because I'm a tall girl. But I do worry that I would be useless.
So you say yes when they ask all the questions, and then,
absolutely. And
you're thinking no.
I really give them all my attention as well. Like I'm like AirPods out, like
trying to be a good student,
looking at my little card. And then I have all my like juicy bits.
Okay.
So I have my age, I have my height, which is correct. It's true to my actual height. I have that I want children, which again, I know a lot of women I talk to think it's too intense or it's scary putting it out there so openly. But that's a deal breaker for me, as you know. And I need to be open and honest about that. There's no point meeting someone and having 7 amazing dates and then we find out that I want children and they don't.
Yeah, for sure. I also think like your profile should actually match who you are.
Yeah.
So that when they meet you in person, they're like, oh, you're the same as what I expected.
Yeah.
Like if you're selling some different version of yourself, then it's just a waste of time.
Yours and theirs.
Yeah.
I have my star sign because that's important to me. And then I have that I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Now, the options for this are insane these days.
What do you mean?
Like when I'll read them out to you. It's just everything's changed so much in just 2 years. Like from when I was single last, everything has changed so much. So the options are for your dating intentions, life partner. Now, I did feel like that was too intense to pick. So I picked a long-term relationship.
Okay.
I don't know. Life partner just sounded a bit, I don't know.
It does sound intense.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, that is what you wanted.
I know, but
But a long-term relationship can.
leads to a life partner.
Yes.
So it goes life partner, long-term relationship, open to short-term relationship, open to long,
Interesting.
short-term relationship, figuring out my dating goals, which let me tell you is what most men our age have. It's like, doll, if you haven't figured them out at 35
And you're clicking that button, like, no.
then it says prefer not to say, and then there's a little box where you can add a little bit more about, you know, I guess explaining yourself. Yeah. And then relationship type, I've chosen monogamy, but there's monogamy, non-monogamy, figuring out my relationship type, and prefer not to say.
Okay.
So like there's just, you can really make your profile quite specific and niche to exactly what you're looking for. I mean, if you pay for Hinge, there's like Hinge X or something, you can get it so that you only, you know, search for Scorpio men, which you would never do because Scorpio men are like quite literally life ruiners. But like if you pay for the premium subscription, you can be like, you can literally be like only 6'5" men in South Yarra who are Geminis who don't drink.
Too?
No, I just had a Gemini. I wouldn't do that again. No, I would not recommend Geminis either. So that's my first prompt. And then I have, what's my next photo? Oh, see, I've been off it for so long I can't even remember how to use it. Hello? Oh, okay.
I'm also wondering if, so your boyfriend's name is Ned.
Ned.
I'm wondering if Ned's profile.
Shocking.
Yeah, okay.
Shocking.
We'll get to that after the professional one.
Yeah. So then I have like a cute little photo of me in a bikini, not professional, me in Bali. And it said it's all about the simple things. 'Cause you can also choose prompts to like explain your photo.
Okay.
Then I have a hot one from an event that we were at together.
Gorgeous.
Because look at me.
You look amazing.
But it is the third photo. Like I'm not like in your face like, you know what I mean? Like I'm cute and approachable, but I can
You're
also be
warming up.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then my next prompt is I'll brag about you to my friends if, and then I said, you have something other than marching powder, green lights, or scar tissue on your bedside table. Now you would know these are books.
Yes.
But these are like the 3 books that most straight men have read.
Or have them there but haven't read.
Yes. Or gifted them from like their mum for Christmas, but actually haven't opened them. And when I talk about how I love reading and how, you know, I'm a journalist, they offer up one of these books as the book. Or the other one is Shoe Dog, the Nike story. And so that's kind of like a little like, it's kind of tongue in cheek. It's like, I'd love if you were a reader. If you get that gag.
Then they can come in and tell you what they've read recently.
Yeah.
That isn't that.
So with that one, I either had men be like, what's wrong with marching powder? Or I had smart, witty, brilliant men being like, lol, like that's hilarious. Like those are the 3 basic bitch books for men, for white men, basically. The next photo is me with Lozzie because I was like, I have to have a friend in the show. Like I can't just be, I have friends, guys, you know.
She's a social girl.
Yeah, I'm a social gal. And my third prompt is, now this was, I played around with this for a bit because I was like, is this too forward? Is this, because my last profile when I was last on here was a completely different profile. It was like, I'm single party girl. I'm a lot of fun. You know, one of my prompts was like, don't hate me. Oh, I can't even say it without cringing. It was like, I can't it was like, this just shows how much I've changed and grown in, you know, a couple of years. It said, don't hate me if I drink you under the table. And they were all like super bikini, like edited shots.
Yeah.
So this profile's
Well, it was always going to attract the wrong person. Yeah.
So this last one is dating me is like biting into a cheese and tomato jaffle. High stakes, high reward.
I like that.
Now, it originally said something like, it's going to burn your tongue, but it's delicious, or something like that. And I thought, nah, that's too graphic. So I took it back a notch.
Okay.
But I still felt iffy about that one. I'm like, is that just a bit too like forward or like too...
It's a bit sexy.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I kept it
I mean,
in
it
there.
worked, so.
It did work. And that's the prompt that Ned chose to respond to as well. And then the next photo is just a really nice kind of big teeth smiley one.
Cute.
And then the one after that is me pretending that I surf.
Yeah, perfect.
But it also says, together we can be terrible at, because I can't surf.
Cute. Wait, so when someone responds to your profile, do they only respond to one prompt or photo?
They can choose. They can just send you like a like, or they can respond to a certain photo, respond to a certain prompt. And it just kind of helps them, I guess, open the conversation, right? Because they've got something to start off with.
And you have to have both matched, like swiped each other to do
so
that.
it's still, that's still a thing, which is great, because otherwise, the worst is when guys don't match with you and they slide into your DMs on Instagram and they're like, hey, I saw you on Hinge, but thought I'd try here.
And you're like, yeah, I saw you too, and I didn't swipe you.
You've just broken protocol. You've just literally, you've just let yourself into my home.
Get out.
And said, hey, I thought you'd have a wine. It's like, excuse me.
No.
No one invited you in here. Please leave. It feels really like,
Yeah, no.
But no,
not what you
Ned's
want.
profile was shocking.
So talk me through it.
Absolutely shocking. So again, at my age, like if you don't put effort into your dating profiles, to me, that shows the lack of effort you're going to put into dating me.
Yeah.
Like if you can't sit down literally and take 5 to 10 minutes to write a couple of lines on your dating profile, why the hell should I give you my time?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, also, I think it just shows what they're there for, right? Like, I feel like
that's what I assume, right?
Yeah.
But then when I brought this up with Ned, he said, I just didn't think girls cared about that. I didn't think girls read that.
Interesting.
And maybe they don't. Maybe when you're a bit younger, you just, because I know that when I first got on the apps, I was just looking for a 10 out of 10. Like I wanted a hot bad boy. I wanted like a tatted up guy with like a man bun who rode a motorbike.
Literally, most of your exes look and sound just like that.
I feel like I've graduated over the years.
Yeah.
Like they're getting better and better.
The hair gets shorter. The tattoos are less.
Yeah.
The attitude is
Better. They're sweeter. They're kinder.
Their hair is cleaner.
So honestly, Ned's profile sucked. It did. It sucked. The photos were grainy. They were like taken on like Hipstamatic back in like, 2012.
Hipster.
Remember Hipstamatic?
I actually didn't, but I do now.
It was like a little like analog camera app, and the photos were awful, but we loved it because it felt really like vintage. Like, so yeah, shitty photos, grainy photos, old photos, group shots with the guys, footy photos, and just one word responses to his prompts.
But why did you match him then? If you like, they sound like all the things that you're like.
They are. But he sent me a rose.
What does that mean?
So on Hinge, you can either buy, or I think they gift you like one a week, a virtual rose. And it's like to tell someone that you really like them, like you'd really like a chance. It's like one step up from a like or a swipe right or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought that takes courage. Like that's like basically the dating app equivalent of someone coming up to you at a bar and being like, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah, okay.
And I thought that takes courage. I think there was one photo that I liked, maybe like one shot. I was like, he's kind of cute there.
Smile?
Yeah, he's smiling. Yeah, he's smiling. He's got great teeth. But apart from that, I thought, dentist, that's going to be dry as. Like,
Boring.
I've never seen a hot dentist before now, obviously. Like, I've never seen a hot dentist. My dentist have always been a bit older than me. I thought, what are we going to talk about? We've got nothing in common. My teeth are already amazing. I've already had my teeth fixed. So he's not used to me in that department. I can't get free dental work. He was only 32, which I thought, was that a bit young for what I'm ready for and what I'm wanting. He said 6'2", but as we know, we minus a couple. So I was like, is he even 6 foot?
Is he?
He's 6'1".
Okay.
He will say he's 6'1.5".
On a good day.
When he's wearing his heels. He's 6'1.5". But yeah, I thought, okay, look. And also Beggars can't be choosers, man. Like I was just back in the game. I'd been on maybe one or two pretty shocking dates. And I thought, what's the worst that can happen? I think it was like a Wednesday night. I was on the couch and I thought, I'll give him a shot. So, but his profile was shocking and didn't make sense. Like one of them was like, and I asked him about it. He's like, oh yeah, I just copied that from one of my mates' profiles. He said,
come on, Ned, you're a smart boy.
The award I should be nominated for, steaming hams.
What? What does that mean?
Does that even make sense?
Do you know what that means, Daniel?
I think he's just good at steaming hams. I don't know.
My love language is barbecue shapes.
No.
Yeah, it's a Simpsons
It's a
quote,
Simpsons
isn't it?
reference,
Yeah.
apparently.
Because I even said, oh, like I've never had a steamed ham. Like, and he went with it for a bit before admitting, oh, it's just a quote from Simpsons.
Okay.
My love language is barbecue shapes. I'm looking for milk that tastes like real milk. Is that another Simpsons quote?
It's just an ad from back in the day.
Like, what is that? What are those?
See, I think from this he would have attracted like a guy mate.
And,
It
like,
sounds like
his photos
over
are
a
all-
girlfriend.
Yeah, right? And he had no
Matt's
information.
loving this.
Yeah, Matt's like, when can I meet this guy?
You know what? You guys will probably get along. He gets along with everybody. And then he had no information. He had nothing about what he was looking for, nothing about what he wanted, nothing about, I mean, I don't know if he smokes, drinks. I don't know anything about him. So it was a really lackluster profile. But then I think don't judge a book too quickly. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you have to, it's tough.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important if you are looking for a serious relationship, if you're just looking for a one night stand, chuck your hottest photos up there and, you know, Bob's your uncle. But I think if you are looking for a long-term relationship, a life partner, if you will, it is important that you put some effort in and show some of your personality.
Yeah, I agree. I've learnt a lot already.
I would love to get my hands on your dating profiles. Oh my God, I would do some damage.
That's terrifying.
You wouldn't need help, obviously, because A, you're stunning, and B, you're very smart and clever and funny. But I would just love to like be the one that gets to go through them.
I think I still would need help because it's hard. Like that's hard.
It would be hard for you because you would literally be inundated with like 4,000 million requests. And you know what? I was just thinking no one would be good enough for me. Like I've never liked anyone you've dated, have I?
No.
No. And I was just thinking then if you did give me control of your app, I'd just be like, no.
I would probably do the same for you though. I feel like that's like,
No, you are so much nicer than me. You'd be like, no, don't.
Oh.
He looks really sweet. Oh, look, he's got a dog. Like,
actually,
give him a chance. That's exactly what you'd be like.
this is true. But like my bar used to be quite low. My bar it's increased.
Yeah, because you've done the work. You've worked
Yeah.
on yourself and you've realized what you deserve, which is the absolute world.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
It's been a long slog to get you there, though.
It's been a journey. I want to talk about some experiences as a single girl. You mentioned before being like the seventh wheel, going to weddings by yourself, doing things like that. And yeah, I've experienced that over the past 18 months or so, a lot of firsts on my own, which can be really daunting, but I feel like the more you do, it does feel a bit empowering and you're like, oh, I'm actually fine. Like it's okay. But I know a lot of people struggle with that because I get people in my DMs asking about that a lot. So yeah, I would love for you to talk through how you navigated that and yeah, some little tips and tricks.
Yeah, so I for a long time was like the extra person. So I remember like even we went, me, Lisa, DeSanctus, Tessa, you know, I went on a couples. I firstly invited myself. That's how you've really got to put yourself out there or you'll just get left behind. And it's so tricky, especially as you get into your 30s. Everyone's engaged, getting married, having kids. And you're kind of in this weird no man's land, right? Because we're not in our 20s. We're not going to the clubs every night. We're not, you know, at electric on a Thursday night with the kids on the dance floor. And you're not married. We're kind of in this weird
Limbo.
yeah. Because where people say, where do you meet guys these days? Because we don't go to clubs anymore.
I think also like when you're in your 30s, a lot of the good guys or good girls are partnered up already. It's like you're waiting for the next batch
You're
of
waiting
like
for
people
the
that are
divorcees.
going to get divorced.
Divorced. No, fully. And it's just a really weird sort of space of life to be in.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to the club, so you're on your couch, but then you're also not being invited to the first birthdays because they think, oh, she's busy or she hasn't got kids. Oh, we'll save her
won't
from
want
it.
to come. Yeah.
So you kind of get left behind by everyone. It's a really odd space to be in. But yeah, there have been so many times when I've, you know, we've gone on holidays and there's been the Airbnb. There is always the bunk bedroom at an Airbnb, isn't there? And it's always the single people that get stuffed into the bunk bedroom. Like, what if I want to spread out and have a nice little sleep in? Or you're like, you know, everyone's driving up in their cars and then you have to drive yourself and you have to do the road trip alone because everyone's doing it in twos.
In the back with the luggage.
Yeah, or be in the middle of the back. Yeah, weddings are tough. You know, I went to a wedding of a friend of ours recently and it was interstate and, you know, you have to do flights on your own and you pay for accommodation on your own. You're chipping in for the present on your own. You know, everything that everyone else is doing and they get to sort of split it, you cop it.
Yeah.
Solo. So it's tough. It is really tough. I think it's important to not let the fact that you're alone hold you back from anything. I think that if you do that, you end up feeling more alone and more isolated. Like I make the effort. I figured out ages ago, okay, cool. So my friends have kids or my friends, you know, are married. They just need a little bit more lead time now than say you or I do, right? Like I could message you on a Thursday and say, you free for dinner tomorrow? And you might be. But your friends with kids, you just kind of have to pre-plan a bit more.
Yeah.
Hey, are you free in 3 weeks' time for a 5 p.m. pub dinner at a kid-friendly establishment? But it is really tough. And there's been so much, especially like Christmases, holidays are really tough. It feels like everybody else is away doing really fun things and you're alone on the couch. But you can't let it stop you from living your life.
Yeah.
And also there is so much to be said for being single and doing those things on your own and being able to, you know, you can have the late nights, you can have the sleep-ins. You know, the wedding that I was at, I came home late, I ordered Macca's, I ate it in bed, I played Taylor Swift TikToks till about 3 a.m. And then I slept in. My mates had to get up and feed the toddler and go down to the pool early to, you know, give them some time to run off, you know, burn some steam. So it's so easy to get bogged down in like what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
But there is so much to be said about being single in your 30s. You know who you are. You've got more income to go and, you know, do new hobbies, enroll in some courses, take your girlfriends away. When I went through my last breakup, I just booked literally back-to-back girls' weekends away. You can't do that when you've got kids.
Yeah.
So there is so much to focus on. I know it's so hard sometimes. You get really bogged down, especially when you've been on the apps for years and you feel like there's no good ones left out there and you get dating fatigue. It's such a thing, dating fatigue, especially when you're dating from the apps. You just feel like you're putting yourself out there time and time again. And I felt like I was giving a little piece of myself to each of these people and it just starts to really wear at you.
Yeah.
And you get really tired of it.
It's also hard, like starting from scratch again, being like, how many siblings do you have? Like,
What's your
like,
star sign? Do you go to therapy? Do you love your mother? Yeah. Like it's, what's your relationship with your mother?
Actually, I want to come back to that because I feel like there are some good questions there that you have to ask on a date. But yeah, I think that's really good advice. Like trying to not focus on what you're missing out on, but focus on what you can do. Because I've felt that, like I live by myself and I love it. And I have friends, I caught up with a couple of friends the other day who have 2 little boys and they're so gorgeous, but they are so intense and the parents are exhausted all the time. And I was like, yeah, like I love living by myself. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, I feel bad. I'm going to take that back. But they were like, yeah, that sounds really luxurious. Like just being able to, you know, we'll put things where you want them and they will still stay there.
Yeah.
And just doing whatever you want, walking around in whatever you want and just listening to anything, watching anything, like just all of those things.
Buying expensive
and
candles.
And you live by yourself as well.
Yeah, I live by myself as well. Yeah, buying expensive candles. You know, sitting down and watching back-to-back episodes of a show. You know, cooking what you want to eat. There are so many positives to being single.
Yeah.
And I think you should really milk it and make the most of it because there will be a time one day where you're not and you'll be like, you'll be missing these days.
Yeah, and you'll be like, I wish that I made the most of that time.
Being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, being able to leave the house, you know, in a second's notice, being able to say yes to a last minute, you know, road trip. That is all stuff you cannot do when you're in a relationship or when you've got kids or when you're married. So yeah, I milked all of that. Because I knew that, you know, it's not always going to be that way.
Yeah. In saying that, though, you definitely had hard times.
Oh, it was so lonely and
yeah.
depressing. Yeah.
How, when you were having a moment or like a real lonely, sad moment, how did you get yourself out of that?
For me, when I'm having a really rough time, I tend to go really insular and internal. You would know that, people.
You don't answer your phone. It's
No, I
really
go
annoying.
really. I never answer my phone anyway. It's not personal, Liv. But no, when something, I go really quiet and really hermity. And I think that's okay. I think you can have a couple of days of doing that, but then you got to brush yourself off and get up and get out there. It sounds like such a cliche, and trust me, I heard it so many times and I rolled my eyes, but moving your body, exercise is a game changer. Fresh air, figuring out your self-soothing techniques. I know for a fact that reading for me is a real self-soothing technique.
Yeah.
Walks with friends. If you don't feel like being super social, you don't feel like going out for a drink, or maybe drinking you think isn't a good idea at the time. I know when I'm going through stuff, I've learnt that it's best for me to avoid drinking. A walk around the town or walk around, your local park, where you kind of get that. For me as well, I found that if I put time limits on it, like a tan lap is a certain amount of time. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel super overwhelming.
Yeah.
Reaching out to family, friends, animals, babies help.
They do.
Babies help. My cat honestly saved my life, I think. And just doing a comfort stuff. Like I was eating, Yogos with choc chips, foods, dippy eggs, like foods that make you feel safe and comforted. I kind of revert whenever
Your
I'm going
childhood
through.
foods.
I revert back. Like I was eating Yogos. I was eating Bega stringers. I was making fairy bread. It sounds a bit cooked when I say it all like that.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, just foods that just doing things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
Treating yourself. Go buy your fresh flowers. Walk to the markets. Get your nails done. Pay $300 for an expensive massage at a day spa. Do things that make you feel good. Do things for yourself.
Yeah, they're good tips. I want to know, when I reflect on previous relationships, my mum actually said to me that she doesn't think in hindsight that any partner, and this is like no offense to any of my exes, she
Knowing
doesn't
them.
think that I chose any of them because I was like, you're the best person that I know and I want to be with you. It was kind of like whoever was giving me the most at the time, and I was like, you'll do. I like you enough to start going out with you. So I don't think I was picky enough, and I wasn't thinking enough about what I actually want. And then I'd be in the relationship and be like, wow, we're actually really not aligned in so many ways. So moving forward, I'm like, okay, there are certain questions that I need to ask someone straight away to be sure about. And it sounds really basic. I'm sure many people have figured this out well before I have. But it's good now. So one of those is asking someone to describe their best friends, because I feel like the way they talk about their friends is so important. Similarly, the way that they talk about their mum, siblings, family in general, that's such a big one. What about you? Can you give me like one of your go-to questions that you'll ask someone that you know?
It's always a red flag for me if they talk badly about their last partner. I always ask about their past relationship, and I know that some people find that controversial. I think you shouldn't bring up exes. I'm not saying on a first date, but I'm saying in those early stages, I find it really fascinating to hear about. That's how you learn about them.
I know, but what if their ex actually was toxic?
Then there's ways. There's ways of
so
talking
not
about
being
it.
like, oh, she's crazy.
She's a
but being-
fucking bitch.
Yeah,
She's a psycho.
We don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
I would like them to hear, she's a great person. We just didn't work out, or just the way they speak about someone they used to love. To me, says a lot about that. I think, but this is the beauty of dating in your 30s, right? You know what you want.
Yeah.
You're more confident in yourself. You're more secure. You also have done, you've dated long enough to know that's what I won't accept. That's what I will accept. That's where my bar is. That's where, so that's why dating in your 30s is actually, I think, so much easier and actually way more fun, because you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think talking about children, whether you want children or not, is really important at 36 especially. I think it's important to, family is a big one. How you speak about your family, how you speak about your friends, how they speak to waiters on dates is really important. How they speak to service people in general, whether that's an Uber driver, a waitress, whatever. What else? What they ask about you and what's important to you, how they listen to you, whether they sort of like throw things back that you said 3 dates ago and they've remembered it. Listening is really important. But yeah, mainly it's just like making sure you share the same goals and morals and ethics. Because I think that's sort of what I found in my last relationship, is that when it came down to it, if we were to bring up children, you know, our morals and ethics and what we believe weren't necessarily aligned.
Yeah.
And I think that I put off having those hard conversations because I'd been alone for so long and I was so desperate to be loved. I just wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
And I was happy to sort of, you know, stick my head in the sand or lift up the rug and sort of sweep a few things underneath. But then it was getting to the point where
you're like, yeah, we'll deal with that later.
But then it was later.
Yeah.
Then it was later. And I was thinking about children and kids and how we'd bring them up. And yeah, I was like, fuck. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We actually are very different and have some very different ideas.
I think it's like that, you know, the whole thing of opposites attract. And I feel like I've always dated people very different to me. But then that's often why it doesn't work out. Because you are so different.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough finding the balance.
Yeah.
I've always dated people that are opposite to me as well, so the yin to the yang. But you do have to be aligned on those key topics and key, you know, kids, religion, politics. Like I'm so happy to have a healthy debate with somebody. But if you have completely opposing views on some of those big topics, I just don't know how you can move forward together.
Yeah.
And that's something that I discovered in my last relationship.
Okay, I want to hear some examples of red flags playing out on a date. I can share one with you.
Okay, you start.
I went on a date. This was a setup, blind date. So I was thinking it was a recommendation from someone who I really like and respect. So I was like, this will be like, sounds good. Got there and straight away I was like, I had an iffy feeling. I sat down. It was kind of like a bit chilly in the restaurant. So I had my arms like this for people listening and not watching, just like not crossed, not in like a don't talk to me kind of way, but just like, you know, across my body. He grabbed my arms, reached over, grabbed my arms and like put them by my side.
Tell me this story, yeah.
Oh. And straight away, I put them back and he was like, don't sit like that. I was like, I'm cold. And also, what? Like, don't tell me how to sit. So aggressive.
Also, there's like breaking the like no contact barrier and then there's like aggressively like grabbing your arms.
And telling me what to do. It was so weird. That was such an ick. And I was like, oh, we are off to a rocky start, buddy.
I could sit here for literally hours and talk about this. Like quite literally. The first thing came to mind was I was on a date with this guy and we were at a little wine bar and he gets there and he's super awkward, and that's fine. You know, first dates are awkward. People are shy. People are nervous. I can talk to a tree. So I tend to sort of like.
Can you?
Hello. So I tend to like fill the space. Also when I'm nervous, as you know, I babble. So if they're nervous and they're not giving me much, I will overcompensate. Anyway. I don't know if this is a red flag or this is just like a bad date story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So we're on this date and I'm sort of like looking and talking. And so for some reason, I've like looked to my left, and when I've come back, or maybe I went to the bathroom. Anyway, I've come back and he's put glasses on and he goes, I go, oh, you wear glasses? He goes, what do you think about these? And I was like, oh, like, do you need, are they your glasses? Do you need glasses? Like, but what do you think?
Hold on, like specs?
Like specs.
Okay.
And then he kept like turning and then taking them off and going, or is this better? Like he was fucking Clark Kent changing from like Superman into the regular every day. But he was like, is this better or is this better? And I'm like, do you need these glasses, sir? Or are you just wanting my opinion on these frames?
Like, where did it go from here?
I basically asked for the bill and said, I don't think this is going to work. Like, what the sweet shit?
You didn't want a Clark Kent. Shame.
What? I also like, I was on Raya. I can talk about it now because I've spoken about it so much they've kicked me off the app. So which really sucked when I was single before I met Ned because I really wanted to get back in there. But Raya is the dating app for celebrities, if you weren't aware.
It's pretty wanky.
Yeah, I know you're on it, doll.
I'm not on it anymore.
Anyway, it can be fun. I basically just used it. It was just fun, like especially when I was traveling. But the real flogs on Raya, like celebrities tend to be flogs. And there was a few, I won't mention who he is. Let's just say they work in the music industry. And I was chatting to them on Raya. And they tried to get me to come meet them in their hotel lobby for a drink. And I was like, I know what you're implying. I was like, no, you can come around the corner at this other bar and meet me here. He's like, oh, no, you can come to my hotel, meet me in my hotel lobby. I'm like, I'm not just going to come up to your hotel room. I think anyone that's too forward is a red flag. I think that, I'm happy I always pay on a first date. So like
Really?
Yeah, always.
Not hard.
Do you know why? Because I'm so convinced in my little paranoid, anxious brain that especially if the date's not going well, I'll pay because I don't want that person to walk back to his mates and say Tully from Big Brother
just wanted
made
a free
my
dinner.
yeah. So I've even often ordered their Ubers home. Especially if it's a bad day. Like I'll go above and beyond so that knowing I'm never going to see them again, they have nothing but nice things to say about me to their mates.
God, that's expensive. There's some expensive experiences. Jesus.
Especially when you've been doing it for 8 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in terms of red flags, I think that just rudeness is obviously one.
Yeah.
Someone being too pushy. I never really liked it when they'd try and suggest we meet up like that night. Like that to me just says they're after one thing. I used to have a rule where I'd make them chat to me on the apps for at least a week before I'd meet up with them in person.
Okay. And also, where would you meet? Like somewhere public?
Public, I learned early on not to do dinner, not to like commit to a dinner.
Really?
Yeah. Because then I had a really bad date where I actually committed to dinner and then a concert.
Ooh.
So it was like a 7-hour date. That was horrendous.
Oh, no.
Horrendous.
I say so. Like, okay, would you suggest a drink is like a good
a drink.
All right.
At like a wine bar where there's a possibility of food. Like Neptune. You know I love Neptune.
If it's going well, you stay for food.
Yeah.
If it's going badly, you get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think committing to like a dinner booking and also something about sitting down, getting a menu, having to decide on an entree when you've just met a person is kind of stressful.
Yeah.
I think meeting at a bar is way...
Also even watching someone eat because I hate mouth noises. I'm like, if we eat straight away, actually that's probably a good thing because then I can know if you're going to be a really noisy eater, it's not going to work.
What's it called?
Misophonia, I think.
Misophonia.
Yeah. It's very stressful. It's
eating on a first date is risky.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go like even like oysters because everyone goes to order oysters on a date because like they're an aphrodisiac, blah blah blah. But trying to like
it can get messy.
Do you just go the slurp? Do you get a little spoon? Do you turn away? Do you quietly just like hog it back? It's just so many things could go wrong. And then you're both sitting there going, because it's kind of that, you have to chew. Anyway, tacos, tricky. Don't do ribs. That was
No, burgers, tacos, pasta with red sauce. Mm-hmm. All messy, bad ideas.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hot dogs, too phallic. I love hot dogs.
She loves a hot dog.
Like, take me to IKEA, give me a $2 hot dog and I'll marry you.
IKEA? Bunnings?
No, IKEA. No, the shitter the better.
Mm.
Like I want
the bread with all the sugar.
And like the penis looking like sad hot dog.
On that note.
Like I don't want a fancy bratwurst. I want just like a Frankfurt that's been overcooked in some disgusting water.
That you don't know what is actually in it.
No.
Daniel's going to ask us some quick fire questions.
Oh, okay. Can't wait.
I'm nervous. Like,
do you know the questions?
No.
Oh, okay.
Neither of us do.
Has to be the first thing that comes to mind. No thought process, just straight away.
Oh, that's
answer.
very easy for me. That's how I operate generally.
Oh, God.
So,
all right, there will be a ticking, tick, 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 but
Okay.
we won't put it in your ears. One thing you can't live without.
Does it have to be like a thing?
my comb.
Yeah, mine's probably that too.
I have like a comb in my handbag that I use when I'm anxious. It
I
goes
can't
with
say
me
the
everywhere.
same as you. Let me say lip balm. Boring. Sorry.
You've already answered this, but best dating app.
Hinge.
I mean, I can't speak for any of them, but I'm just
You liked Raya when you were on it. She
Hey,
says
I went on a couple of dates.
you liked Raya. You had fun on Raya.
You kind of already answered this too, but go-to comfort food.
Oh, that's fun. Easy Mac.
Mine is Yochi.
Yeah. Biggest regret.
Did you watch my 2013 season of Big Brother?
There's one that I could say, but I won't say. No, actually, this is going to be a shitty answer probably, but like I don't regret anything because
Lame.
no, I know, but it all led
All
me
right,
to.
Yawn Connery. Like,
That's something I've worked on in therapy. Hey,
sorry. Props to Olivia.
Snaps for me. No, I did. I regretted a few things, but I've been working on that because I feel like I don't want to regret anything because it's led me to this point where I feel really good now.
Yeah. Proud of you.
Thanks, girl.
Most embarrassing song on your playlist.
I'm going to say The Tide is High by Atomic Kitten because I love that song. And my siblings, when I bought the single when I was younger, they gave me so much shit that I cried. And then I'm like, you know what? Stuff you guys. I like this song. I'm going to listen to it. So it's on my Spotify and it's kind of embarrassing, but I also like it.
Okay, I'm not embarrassed by anything on my Spotify playlist. I stand by and back all of my choices. In saying that, we did recently see the Grease musical, and my boyfriend and I came home and had a Grease sing along in bed.
That's so cute.
So I don't even know what it's called. The one where it's like, chang chang, Jana, Jana, that's the way we could.
We go together.
We go together.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good answer.
But also like the musical version, not like the movie soundtrack version.
Yeah.
There are different versions. But I'm not embarrassed by it, and I have no regrets.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Oh, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of do too now. I don't know if I believe love at first sight. I mean, it took me, my boyfriend, 10 days to say I love you, which is pretty quick.
That is quick.
I don't know if I believe in love at first sight.
It can't be love. I can't. Yeah.
I knew that was something special. I didn't think I'm in love with you, but I thought this has got legs. This is going to go somewhere.
There's like connection at first sight, not necessarily
Vibes at first sight.
Vibes.
Biggest red flag.
Oh, anyone that's racist, homophobic, misogynist, like it's yeah.
They're good ones. Also, if they don't respect their mum.
If they're rude to waste. Yeah, I mean, we could be here again all day.
I think that's just a really big one though. Like if they don't respect their mum, I feel like they just don't respect women.
And if they chew their food really loud.
That too. Disgusting.
Biggest green flag then.
Oh, there's so many green flags.
I think for me, it's kind to strangers and like treating all people the same, like that they're the same version of themselves across the board.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why I fell for Ned was I got to watch him with his nieces. Watching a guy be good with kids
That is a green flag.
is, a huge green flag for me. It also just makes my ovaries burst.
Go-to karaoke song.
Ice Ice Baby.
Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift.
Phone call or text?
Text.
Phone call.
Absolutely not.
Oh, it depends who it is.
No. I'm throwing that phone across the room.
Yeah, you're a true millennial. I like a text throughout the day, but I love a phone call at night.
And you occasionally voice note as well.
Yes, I do. I like to talk.
But then you apologize.
Yes, I do.
I'm so sorry. That was 5 minutes. Or she'll say, hey, I'm just sending you a voice note because I know you hate speaking on the phone, but this is easy to do via this. So, like, she knows me well.
I do.
What do you regret spending money on?
I bought my ex one of those e-scooters and he used it a couple of times and then took a job overseas and left me behind with the e-scooter.
That is a fair regret.
I thought it was an amazing gift, but apparently, see you later.
I think probably just like clothes that at the time, I'm like, I need this thing and I spend more than I should because girl maths, I justify it and then don't wear it enough.
What about the house reno?
I don't regret the house reno. That was good. I enjoyed that. I'm glad I spent the money I spent on my house. But thanks, Tully.
What's a fashion trend that should come back?
That should come back. Yeah. Oh, I could rattle off a million that shouldn't come back. One that should come back.
That's the next question.
Do you know what? Oh, really? Do you know what? I reckon maybe bring back the cargo pants that you can zip off and they become shorts. I like the option, especially living in Melbourne. Some days it's cold and then it's sunny and then it's cold again. I would like to be able to make my pants shorts and then pants as I choose.
We could wear them in here because like it'll be cold outside. Come in here, it's hot. Just zip it off, and then you'll be happy out.
Also, hair mascara. I loved that.
What?
Hair mascara.
Hair mascara.
Am I that old that you don't remember that?
Oh, like colourful.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like at Miss Universe, the girls with really dark hair would use mascara to like fill in little bits where you could see their scalp.
Oh.
Like, you know.
No, I just meant like the fun like bright blue that you'd like put through your little fringe bits.
Cute. It's hard because I feel like most of like the 90s, early 2000s trends that I really liked have come back. Mm-hmm. They've come back already. So, you know, like baggy pants, things that actually when they were around at the time and I was a really awkward gal, I wouldn't have embraced them. So it's nice that now I'm a bit more confident and I'm like, I'm going to wear these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's one that should disappear? You, in the last Q&A, said the mesh shoes.
yeah,
I hate those mesh shoes.
Oh, good.
They're so ugly.
Yeah.
Low-rise jeans. I also don't love
You've got low rise, no?
no, like low, like 90s, like your vagina's almost hanging out.
Okay. G-string up the back.
Yeah,
Cappy.
no, absolutely not.
Kim style.
And velour tracksuits, they're gross.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like the feeling of it. And it's not the feeling of velour, like the velvet. It's the feeling of the velvet on other fabrics. Like if I was sitting in the tracksuit now, it would be like feeling weird on this fabric. Anyway, yep, that's me, the velour tracksuit.
That's like your version of my noisy eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to see those coming back. Also, I'm not a trucker hat girl.
No.
Like they already are kind of back. That's not a trucker hat, is it, Daniel? Good. Yeah, not a fan.
Like you don't like
Von
mesh. You
Dutch.
don't like mesh.
Oh my god, yes, I hate mesh.
Yeah.
That must be it. Just nah.
Like the Von Dutch big trucker hats.
Yeah, that kind of thing. They're really yucky. I don't like them.
Agreed.
That's all for
That's
quickfire.
it. Amazing. Good job. Well done, Tully.
Oh, thanks.
You win.
Thanks.
Whatever it is. I think you answered faster than me, so you do win.
Thank you so much.
I would love to know if you were to go back to Tully when you first started your single gal journey, what advice would you give her?
I mean, I'm so proud of myself for never giving up on putting myself out there despite how many times I'd been kicked down. Like my poor little heart was so tired and it just never gave up. I truly believed that there was someone out there for me. I didn't want to settle. I mean, that's my advice. Don't settle. I didn't settle, but there were times when that was hard. But I knew what I wanted. I knew what I deserved. And I knew that it was out there and I didn't want to settle for less. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because now I have this amazing man who is just incredible, kind, driven, brilliant, funny, stunning. Like he's prettier than me. It's really annoying. Who has a golden retriever. Like he is a golden retriever and he has a golden retriever. But I think that, you know, we've said this before as well. Like sometimes I'm like, I wish I'd met you sooner. But I think I needed to. Everything happens for a reason. Everything had to happen in the way that it did for me to be ready to accept that kind of a man into my life. Because I think for a long time I was accepting a lot less because I thought I deserved a lot less.
Yeah.
So the advice would be, you are worthy. You deserve it all. And yeah, don't settle. Don't give up, because you will find your person.
Oh, so cute. That almost made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to finish with oranges and lemons.
Mm-hmm.
And the lemon is something that's happened today that wasn't so great. And then your orange is your highlight of the day so far. It's only the morning, so it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the weekend if you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hit me with your lemon first and then your orange.
My lemon is that I've been away in Sydney this weekend, and so my cat has been coming up playing a muck. She has tried to dig to China in one of my pot plants, and there is soil and bark all over my apartment.
Amazing.
Yeah. So my robo vacuum is, as we speak, cleaning that up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But that was just really annoying to come back to.
Yeah, that's a lemon.
Just shit everywhere.
What's your orange?
My orange is... I had my best friend's wedding over the weekend, and I got to go home and spend time with some of my oldest, dearest friends. It was beautiful weather. It was a really lovely day, catching up with old friends, and yeah, I just feel really grounded and like my cup is full. So that is my orange.
I love that.
I love you.
I love you. What's my lemon? Oh, my friend Kim gave me a couple of herbs in little pots as a
Cute.
Christmas present. Super cute. But my apartment isn't so great for growing herbs, it would seem. But one of them died. It's been like 3 days and it died. And I think I'm like a bit of a green thumb. So I'm like, what's going on? And then I found these disgusting bugs in it. So that rocked me. That was this morning.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew, that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I know. Me too. That was 11.
Makes you feel like they're crawling on you now. You're
Yeah.
like,
And my orange is seeing you so happy.
oh, don't.
Yeah.
No, I will cry. I was just thinking of gotten through this whole episode without crying.
I know. It's
Thanks,
okay.
my
I didn't
love.
mean to make you cry, but yeah, it makes me very happy seeing you so happy. It's been
Thank
a
you.
journey to get there, but it's really nice to see.
Thanks, Liv. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think, we both deserve happiness.
Thanks.
And I'm
Mia.
sure we'll get there in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, we'll have a lot of fun figuring it out.
That's true. Now, I know like before we did this ep, there's so many things that I want to talk about with you and there are lots of other topics. So I feel like we've got to get you back on for those. But in the interim, where can everybody find you?
Oh, well, you can find me on Instagram at ttee_Smyth. You can also find me on TikTok and under the same handle. Is that probably about it?
And in South Yarra, doing
Yeah.
laps of the tan.
I mean, barely. That's only if you ask me, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go walk. Hanging out in South Yarra at Paran Markets on a Saturday buying fresh flowers.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
And
you
thanks
for
for all of
having
your
me.
advice. I feel like everyone's going to have such good profiles from this.
I mean, good luck. Yeah, I mean, if I can find somebody, I'm sure you can. Like, it can't be that hard, right?
Oh, Tully, you're a real catch.
Love you.
Love you. Thanks for listening to Tell Me More. This show wouldn't be possible without you. If you'd like to show your support, please subscribe or follow the podcast on your favourite platforms. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes on YouTube and Spotify.